A couple of people have sent me questions about pentatonic scales. Okay, so in this vid I'm going to talk about pentatonics, what they are, why they're useful to you as an improvising pianist, and I'm also going to talk about, or give you an example of an improvisation exercise you can use that has pentatonics in it. Okay, so to get started, what is a pentatonic scale? Let's imagine that we are in the key of C major. Now, if you have piano lessons, you will know the C major scale, because it's one of the first ones you learn. C major has, like all major scales, 7 unique notes, and if you play the full scale, it's 8. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B are the unique notes, and then back up to C for the 8-note scale. A pentatonic scale, as the name kind of implies, think of pentagons and pentagrams and things, has only 5 unique notes. Okay, and in the major they are the tonic, 2nd, 3rd, 5th and 6th of the major scale. And back up to the tonic. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Pentatonic has a very sort of distinctive sound. Okay, there we go. Let's look at it in another major key. Let's go into E flat major, scale of E flat major. Looks like that. The pentatonic is tonic, 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 6th. Back up to the tonic. Okay, there we go. And in starting on any note in any major key, it's always 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Okay, so you can work it out in any particular key that you want to. Minor pentatonic is slightly different. Let's imagine we're in A minor, and we base our pentatonic in A minor on the notes of the minor harmonic scale. If you've had piano lessons, you might have learned the melodic scale, which sharpens a 7th, but we're thinking of the minor harmonic scale. A minor pentatonic uses the tonic, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th. You'll notice that it's actually the same notes as the C major pentatonic in a different order. That's because if you know a bit of music theory, you'll know that A minor is the relative minor of C major. I'm not going to dig into that now. Okay, so major pentatonics, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. Minor pentatonics, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 1. Okay. It's quite easy to pick out in any key, even if you're not good at working out what the scales are of a particular key, because it's got that very distinctive sound, and that's what makes pentatonic special. Okay, there is something very deeply rooted about the pentatonic scale, both major and minor, that is very innate and instinctive for human beings everywhere. If you think about sort of major and minor scales, the ones that our piano teachers teach us how to play, they are very much rooted and very much a product of the Western European musical tradition. Okay, so whether it's sort of a C major or F melodic minor or whatever, those are very much part of Western music. Pentatonic scales, whether major or minor, are common to just about every musical culture on earth. So whether it's Javanese gamelan or Chinese music, pentatonics crop up absolutely everywhere. Okay, so why is that useful? That's useful because pentatonics are so innate and so distinctive for their particular key that when you are improvising, starting to improvise on a pentatonic scale is always safe ground, if you like. So let's imagine you're improvising in F. And you're not sure where to go next. Or where do I go now? The next chord is B flat minor. What I'm going to play on the right. If you jump onto the pentatonic, always going to work, okay, every time. That's because the pentatonic is so closely linked to that key, to that tonic note, so absolutely close to it, that in your listener's mind it will sound natural, okay, it will sound like it works. And that's even the case, as you were seeing there, I was playing in the key of F major, but I was playing chords that weren't naturally occurring in the key of F major, like for example E7, but the pentatonic was still working, okay, because the listener's mind is kind of saying F major, I'm in F major, therefore if we hear F major pentatonic, that feels like home, as it were. Okay, it's a very difficult thing to describe in words, but when you listen to it, it all suddenly makes sense. Okay. Okay, so the improvisation exercise I'm going to show you is in the key of F major. It's using the chord sequence I've just played, which is the chord sequence from the verse section of Georgia on My Mind, the very famous Hoagy Carmichael song that was made famous by Ray Charles. I'll take you through the chord sequence in a second, and we're going to improvise on it using the F major pentatonic in the right. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1, F, G, A, C, D, F. If you're not familiar with the basics of how to work up a single note improvisation, check my videos on starting to play with blues piano, because that takes you through the whole method for starting to do it. Basically, if you're not confident, start with just one note of the pentatonic scale, ideally the tonic, then use 2, then use 3, then use 4, 5 and so on. I've made this point repeatedly, one of the easiest ways to start improvising is to use a limited number of notes. So you have to worry about what you're doing. You've only got sort of 5 notes to choose from. You know, you might go across the octaves, but there's a limited number of notes, and this makes the pentatonic ideal for improvisation practice, because it always sounds great and you don't have many notes to worry about. Okay, so let me teach you the chord sequence we're going to play our right hand improvisations over. We're going to start in, obviously, the key of F, and we go F, 2, 3, 4, A7, 3, 4, D minor 7, B flat minor, F, E7, G minor 7, C7, a little bit slow there, F, and then the bridge, F, D7, G minor 7, C7. I'm going to put all that in the subtitles, so don't worry if you didn't pick up on that. If you're not familiar with the chords, check my earlier videos, all chords explained back there. Okay, so that's our chord sequence. Give it to you one more time. F, A7, D minor 7, B flat minor, we can go to B flat minor 7, it's academic, F, E7, G minor 7, C7, F, D7, G minor 7 and back to C, and you can loop back to the start. I'm not going to go through all the way through Georgia on My Mind. If you want to learn the middle section, you know, the chords are online, go and dig them out. Okay? So what we're going to do is play those chords very simply, just as block chords in the left, and improvise over in the right using that F pentatonic scale, F major pentatonic. Okay, so you might end up with something a bit like this. Or to be a bit more adventurous. Okay. As I said, if you're not confident with improvisation, just start with a couple of notes. If you're not confident, it's probably a good idea to get that left hand off pat to start with. You'll need to play very simple chords. So you can use the pentatonic in lots of ways. If you're playing a sort of jazzy tune like Georgia, then it can naturally add a jazzy feel. So you find yourself doing things like hitting kind of jazzy sounds like that naturally just by following the chord sequence and the pentatonic in the right. If you're playing kind of rock or rhythm and blues, it also works. Pentatonic's really popular with guitarists because it's really easy to play on a guitar. You can learn the pattern. And again, sort of rock guitarists can play what sound like incredibly difficult solos just using pentatonic scales over whatever chord sequence. So really worth getting to know, especially if you've already done some work on the blues scale, because the blues scale and the pentatonic scale are quite closely related. So there we go. If you have any questions, stick them in the comment thread, drop me an email, or the usual. I'm always really happy to sort of respond to questions and answer your questions. If you have ideas for videos, give me a shout. I'm always happy to hear about those, because I want to kind of do what people, what viewers of these videos want me to do. With the exception of sort of teaching people how to play tunes by pat, because that's boring. I want to teach you about improvisation and cool stuff like that. Okay, there we go. I hope that was useful. I'll see you in the next video.